Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday. It's draft day, so we are on an airplane, IG Live airplane edition. Hey, Meltzer with his mask on. Good morning, everyone. We're going to try to check in, answer some questions. Got the Meltzer TV there. We'll pin that comment. If you have anything, email me. We had a great day yesterday. More Good News Wednesday brought it. Welcome, everybody. I hope you like the airport edition. Good morning. We're going real live, real raw. Alex, good morning. How are you? We'll change the pin there. Very good. Good morning. Let's see if we have some questions coming. Team, anyone have any questions? Go ahead and put them in there. We have a couple guests coming on today. Let me see where Jesse is. And we'll get going. Blaine, got some questions coming. We'll get it going here. Thank you. Here we go. What's the best way to write books? Well, first, have a repository of lessons and stories. That's the easiest way. You then can organize your book. Jesse, good to see you. Can you go ahead and send me a request? Jesse, we'd love to have you join. So good. We're going to bring Jesse Dittmer in. He is an unbelievable artist. He's going to teach us about. There we go. He has a new collection coming out. He has done Tom Brady, Charlie, Serena, Andrew Yang. There he is. You get the organic, authentic Dave Meltzer on the airplane. How do you like that?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for doing this.
Where are you flying to?
I'm going to the draft in Cleveland. So
who's going number one?
Oh, Trevor. He'll go number one.
He's got it, right?
Yeah, I think Zach and Justin Fields are better picks, though. So.
Wow. That's a hot
take. Little hot tip there. But anyway, give me a little idea how your business has changed as a famous photographer. NFTs has changed the entire face of your business.
I mean, I wouldn't say that NFTs have changed the entire face of my business, but they are the future. They are the future of art. They are the future of photography. They're the future of contracts, of getting paid. NFTs has been hot in the news right now as being some place to make a quick buck, but over some art, sometimes some silly art, and sometimes just some celebrity art. But I think that it's the underlying technology is going to outlast that kind of fad, and that it's going to end up being smart contracts, the blockchain are going to end up being integral into the way we do business.
Yeah, I think it really allows the artists themselves to make more money and protect their IP better. So in the long run, that's really why NFTs will succeed. Obviously, we'll see the ebbs and flow of collectibles as we do in paper form or sculpture form. Now, does the digital side of things carry over as well in your art? I know you use black and white and a variety of other things, being able to capture what I see. I've watched your work for a while. You're able to capture the essence of somebody.
Sure.
And that's what makes a great artist like yourself. What are some of the things that you've learned over the years that have allowed you to not only attract these great celebrities, athletes, billionaires, millionaires, but capture their essence with a camera? Because a lot of people tell you cameras don't matter. It's the guy behind it. It's the Indian, not the arrow. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. I mean, I think that I tie my artistic process to the interaction I have with my subject and not necessarily the tools I'm using, although I do have preferences on my tools, using black and white film, using my old Hasselblad camera from the 60s, which is kind of a funny, ironic interpretation of NFTs, like bringing something that's so analog into an only digital space is pretty unique. But I just love talking to people and getting to know them, and I think that there's something really interesting about talking to a famous sports star, a billionaire, a millionaire, even a regular person about just where they grew up, what's their life like, what's their family like, what kind of things are they into, and I think that's how I get these connections and these authentic interactions with these people, because I'm just interested in their lives, not necessarily in the reason why they're famous.
And what about the OpenSea Collection that you have now? It's a great investment. What do you see in that OpenSea Collection that's a little bit different than doing a Tom Brady?
Yeah, I mean, my OpenSea collection is where my NFTs live, and it gives me an opportunity to really expand the mediums in which I'm working in. Right before NFTs became a thing, non-fungible tokens became a thing, I started doing moving portraits where I would have a little more motion to my work. But I had no real good place to display and sell those to collectors, and NFTs is just the perfect conduit for that. It's the ability to purchase a digital collectible that's not a single frame. And so I find that my moving portraits of celebrities, of models, of just personalities. I mean, I just photographed Andrew Yang, the potential next mayor of New York City. It's a great place for me to put up an NFT of him and have people able to view and potentially purchase it.
And beyond that, too, a lot of people want to have their business be their passion, but they think it happens overnight. They say, oh, right?
No,
I
not
mean,
at all.
so how have you been able to transcend your love for photography and all the years and years, I mean, of passionate purpose and, focus and discipline into having a business? Could you explain to everyone how long that takes and, what drives you every day?
It's taken literally my whole life. I mean, from a teenager until now, I've been on the same path to being here. I'm 35 now, so it's been over half my life that I've been focused on this being what I want to do with it. And the first step was to learn from the people who already were successful at it. And I searched out mentors. I know you talk a lot about mentors, and I really searched out mentors to figure out if this was the right thing for me. And then after I completed my learning phase, I kind of quit being an assistant cold turkey and almost didn't have a job pretty much for 2 years. And just because this is all I wanted to do, and I wanted to give it a full shot. And then things started rolling for me. I've been a professional, making a living now since 2014. So what is that, almost 7 years? But the first 10 of those 17 years was trying to get to that point. So it's a long play. For me, in the beginning, the reason why I think I was successful is because it was my love. Like, it's my number one priority. And I think that if you want to do something in the artistic field or anything, become an entrepreneur, anything, you have to be organically invested in it. You have to want it. You have to want it more than anything else. You have to be able to put it first. And there's a lot of privilege in being able to put something like photography first in your life. As far as I was prepared to be poor, and that was okay for me. And but we've gotten here, and I'm really proud and really grateful. And I couldn't have done it without a ton of support from family and friends and my wife and all my mentors. So it takes so much effort, so much dedication.
Were there other people that didn't give you support? A lot of times people who want the best for us don't want us to have to struggle. And so how do you deal with the people that were looking for security for you and were projecting maybe their insecurity or fear on you? How do you deal with the naysayers?
That's a good question. I've been really lucky that I haven't had too many naysayers. I think from a very young age, people were always encouraging me to be, like, I don't know, I guess I was just really driven. So you always have as an artist this little bit of fear that your work isn't good enough. And so there's always, but that's really internal. And in the beginning, I was really searching out good criticism of my work, so I could really understand if I was crazy or not. Because you're in it, when you're in something, whether it's a business or whether it's an art, you're so invested in you're such in a bubble, it's hard to know if what you're doing is good. So in the beginning, I was really searching criticism and criticism from people that I trusted and admired. And so that was always really what gave me signs that was telling me I was going in the right direction. There definitely were moments, not necessarily from people that I knew or people that were supportive of me, when I thought, oh, maybe this isn't going to happen for me. When you're 2 years without working, and you want to be doing your dream, that's a precarious moment. And there were moments of doubt there. But, when people are doubting you, I just, try to think about the motivations of their doubt. Are they being genuine? Are they trying to help you? Are they trying to, do they have what's best for you in mind? And I think that if it's someone that you trust and love, you have to take that criticism or that wisdom that they're trying to impart on you seriously. But if you have a belief and you have a drive to go do something like this, then you got to give it your all.
A last question real quick. I got to know, because you've seen over those 17 years such an amazing transformation and acceleration in art itself. What do you see next, especially for you? You know, where are we going with this?
For me, I'm literally living the dream that I wanted to be doing. So as long as I get to keep doing that, as long as I get to keep maintaining that and keep photographing people that are amazing, you know, speaking of the NFL draft, the Tom Brady's of the world, the Serena Williams of the world, like these sports stars, the musicians, influential people, as long as I get to keep meeting those people and photographing them and making art of them, then I consider my career a success. So the question is, how do you maintain that as the landscape around you evolves? And that just means I have to be flexible with the platforms that I work on and the platforms I work with. And I have to be flexible with how technology is changing. The crux of my art is not necessarily the technology that's being used in it. It's the ability for me to render art of people and make it feel like you're getting a sense of them. And I find that I best do that with photography. But as the NFT landscape changes, as things get more digital, cameras may change, technology may change, the outlets in which I'm photographing for certainly are changing, but none of that phases me too much as long as I'm able to be flexible and change with them.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to ask Picasso to paint with crayons, because I'm going to have you photograph me and make me look good.
David, yeah, man, let's do it. Let's get a portrait going.
Amazing, Jess. Thank you so much. Where can people find you and your OpenSea collection?
Yeah, well, hit me up on Instagram. All of my new work is going to be featured with NFTs from now on, or most of it. So Instagram's the best place to find new work of mine. And then if you search my last name on OpenSea Ditmar, you can check out my NFT collection and check out what I've got to offer and what I've sold already.
You're awesome, man. Come back and visit me soon.
Have fun.
You look good. I will.
Have fun at the draft, man.
I'll say hi to all your friends. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later.
All right. Thank you for your patience, Jesse Ditmar. Unbelievable artist, photographer, obviously, and check out his collection. Go ahead and you can check him out. We're doing this from a plane on the way to the draft. Good to see everybody. Let's take a quick question while we're waiting for a quick question. Here we go. What does it say here? I'm 18. I go to school and I work all day after I sleep from 10 to 7:30, but I'm always feeling tired. Any tips to feel motivated? Yes, get sleep. The sleep will expedite. You got to make sure that you have an unwinding routine. Make sure you get enough sleep. That's my advice. Ask for help. You don't got to do it all overnight. Do your best, but make sure you get sleep. There we go. Awesome. Let's see here. Do you have a favorite artist? I have several, but Monet is one of my favorite historically. Got to go to France this summer, or the last year before COVID. That time just flies here in COVID. But there's so many great artists, photographers like Jesse and David Lick, and so many great people just expressing themselves. Genius is the expression of God. These people allow people to come through. Let me grab Igor real quick before my plane takes off. And we have Igor, the CEO of Cure. Good morning. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Give us a little background and ask me your question. We're going to have to take off soon, so I got 5 minutes for you.
Oh, great.
What's going on? Give me a little background on your company.
Oh, yeah. We're doing, we combine TikTok and Robinhood, and we equip Gen Zs with knowledge how to intelligently invest in their future.
Oh, thank you.
We want them to impact their life, like their world.
We'll be on live
investments.
That everyone.
Hey.
Yeah, thank you. Very good. Organic there. All right, Igor. Thank you. So we have NFTs, crypto. We have so many different methodologies of investing today, and much more secure, no fees, really allowing blockchain to be at its best. What question do you have for me?
What question I have for you? How do you think? where crypto and all this stuff's going right now. And how do you think? Will this bubble like explode,
Yeah.
or it's
So
gonna grow and
it,
everything will be fine?
I think
Because
we'll have both.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think we'll have both. If you look at the market makers and the buy and sell side, you're going to have some bubbles on the buy and sell side, but the market is not going to go anywhere. It has a very secure market making mechanism. And so you'll see that the stability in the long run, I would say if you're going to take crypto and Ethereum, Bitcoin and Ethereum, but just forget about it for 20 years, you'll be fine. If you want to trade it, trade the bubble. There'll be ins and outs. You can see and look, different companies now are coming out with great softwares that allow you to see who's talking about what, because that's really the form now of the movement of the buy and sell side is how much communication is, who's talking about what, who the top movers are. Also, the pricing, people will go for the lower priced items. But in the end, Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be around. They just make more sense. And, if you want to, put it away, keep putting it away, and just forget about it for 20 or 30 years, and you'll be extraordinarily happy. But in between those 20 and 30 years, we're going to see, bubbles burst, certain tokens, not work out. But study the market makers, and the buy and sell side. Use people like Igor to help you understand the sound investments. Where can people find you?
People can find us on App Store, Play Market, Instagram, and we have our Discord community where we have like 1,500 people where we discuss all the stuff, how we're going to like improve our app, how we can help people, how we can educate them, what they're looking for. Like, you know, recently we asked people what's short selling, and most of them told us that it is like 2 3 days deal.
Yeah.
It's like a daily trading. That's like, oh my God, come on, really?
Well, thank you
So
for
yeah,
joining me, man. I'm gonna have to take off. I'll talk to you soon. Come back and visit me. Keep helping everybody. We
yeah.
posted up there.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Have a nice flight.
Thanks, Igor. I
Bye.
appreciate you. Good. All right. Real quick, Shawn Austin is here. Young entrepreneur. Been on my TV show, and we're gonna talk about poise. Uh, Real quick, and we'll bring Shawn back on since I'm on the airplane on the way to the draft. Shawn's a quarterback himself, so he'll understand where we're looking here. Shawn Austin at Shawn Austin 10 played. There he is. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm on my way to the draft.
Oh,
So,
nice. Nice. Safe travels. That'll be fun.
yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be different. I'll tell you that. We're no green rooms for Dave Meltzer this year. We're out in the NFL experience with my 11-year-old son. Not Santa Sean.
Hey, what's going on?
So anyway, hey, give us a little bit of background on Boys before I have to take off, and then I'm gonna have you back on. We'll get a little more nitty gritty on it. But give me a little background. You're what I call a serial entrepreneur. You're a winner on and off the field. You got a desire that you must be what you can be, and I'm just a huge fan of yours. Even more as an entrepreneur than a football player. So,
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, my brother and I started Poise to help a problem that we had, which was, performing under pressure. And I think all athletes experience that in one shape or another. So, basically, yeah, we have an app that gets you mentally dialed in before game time so that you can go out there, get into the zone, get into that flow state, and, actually thrive in crunch time rather than choke under pressure.
and that's almost genetic or quantum in your being. Your dad is one of the best mental toughness coaches out there. How much influence did your dad have on you kind of transcending his knowledge into technology?
Well, huge. I mean, really, the challenge for us was how do we get Dave, who's my dad, and get his coaching into a scalable, automated solution that anybody can enjoy and afford. So that was part of the process. So he inspired the whole thing. His process that he's come up with that we call it game ready. I used it before every single game when I was playing. But even now in business, I'll use it before I go, and talk to, the Olympic athletes or, go give a talk or anything that really requires pressure and requires you to perform. I'll still use that process. And that's the same process that we use right in the app.
I mean, building the app, you probably have to delve deeper into the process than you ever imagined. I mean, you've been using it for so long as a college quarterback, a pro quarterback, but you really had to delve in. What was your number one takeaway or thing that you never realized when you're building the app? You've been with your dad for so many years. There had to be something that you're like, oh my gosh, I never even thought of this, or now that's what he means. What was that one thing that kind of came out by building the app?
Oh, that's a great question because, when he developed it 20 some years ago or whatever, there was no science to back up why it worked. We just knew that it worked, and we knew that we felt good going into it. So diving into it deeper to understand how to recreate this experience for anybody, you got to really understand the science behind it and what goes into priming your mind for flow so that you can be totally immersed in what you're doing, totally focused, and diving deeper and uncovering those layers has been awesome, and creating basically what we'll call an algorithm to identify all the different mental states that athletes have right before they go was key in being able to deliver them that specific personalized content. So learning and understanding that was really cool. I feel like now after my career, I know so much more than I did when I was a player, and I just want to give that back to the players that are still playing in their careers.
That's so smart. Last thing real quick, a lot of people talk about the flow, but they can't define it, right? I have a difficulty taking the hyper-complex quantum nature, metaphysical nature of being in the flow, what we're connected to and through. How do you, after doing so much work with being in the flow, being poised during stressful situations, how do you define the flow to, a young athlete that kind of thinks it's woo-woo or there's some mystic value to being in the flow? How do you explain it to them?
The simplest way is just, it's when you feel your best and you play your best, or you perform at your best. And I think that time is different, right? Time slows down when you're in that moment. And I think Kobe actually describes it the best. I'm a huge Mamba fan. And he calls it one noise. He's like, you don't hear the crowd, the chatter. Everything turns into one noise, and where you're totally locked in, your inner critic is silenced. You don't hear it anymore. All you are is focused on this task at hand, and it almost feels effortless. It feels natural, fluid. That's why they call it flow.
Yeah, I love it. I call it when non-time, when time doesn't exist, you're in the flow, and you throw up anything. You throw up anything, it goes in. That's how you know you're in the flow.
Well, and when I was an athlete, it was like time would stand still, and you'd watch it on film. It's like, whoa, that happened really quick. But then in the moment, it felt like it was just slow motion. But then now into business, sometimes you'll get so immersed into something that you're doing, time will fly by, and you're like, how did 4 hours just pass? And it felt like 5 minutes. So time is just totally relative when you're in that flow state.
Wow, everybody needs to be in the flow. Where can they find your app and Poise? Where can we find you?
Right now, you can go to getpoise.com, and Poise is spelled Poiz. So it's just 4 letters. But yeah, I mean, you can follow me here on Instagram, and I'll be releasing some updates as we go, because we're still kind of piloting the prototype version. So if you get in now, you get to kind of experience it from the ground floor as we continue to build and make it better.
You're amazing, man. I appreciate your patience allowing me to do this with the mask on. But I got a big smile under here for you. You're the man, Shane. Say hi to your dad and your family. Getpoise.com. Posted it up there. We'll have you back on to more shows. You've been on my TV show, 2 Minute Drill, on to IG Live, and many more places. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Travel safe.
Thank you. Listen, out of the draft. Take care. Awesome. Incredible Shawn Austin. All the extra professional athletes. We're going to be taking off soon. I just want to thank everyone for their patience. Go ahead and reach out to me, David at dmeltzer.com, 949-298-2905. We've got a good time here on the airplane. We'll see you tomorrow from the draft. Remember, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Have a great day.